Thanks for tuning into the RugRat wind test video. We're going to do two things different from other wind tunnel tests you may have seen. First is we're testing all 5 of the RugRat's unique strength directions, labeled here as A to E. Second thing different that we're doing is we're looking to find the wind speed where the tent becomes unstable and starts to move around. We're not trying to demonstrate the tent's braking strength because those would be conditions that no sane user will ever see. This tent is strong to let you camp in more spectacular sites, which tend to be more exposed, and to help you sleep by being quieter and worry-free. So imagine that, a tent actually designed to help you sleep. Wacky, huh? This is direction A, directly into the triangular vestibule. You can see the wind speed in miles per hour projected on the wall behind. One question we hear often about wind tunnel tests is, why do tents blow down at such low speeds? I think the real answer is that they're not such low speeds. Most people guess wind speed is twice what it actually is, so if the guess is 20 miles per hour, it's pretty likely that it's really only a 10 mile per hour wind. There's a couple of reasons I think for this. First is the force of a wind goes up as the square of the wind speed, so a 20 mile per hour wind is actually 4 times the strength of a 10 mile per hour wind, and a 30 mile per hour wind is 9 times stronger, and so on. So that's a little tough to gauge without experience. The other reason is that the winds you see in weather reports are usually measured at a standard height of 33 feet above the ground, and it's a lot stronger wind up there. So you're kind of being misled a little bit as to what you're feeling on the ground when you see those reports.
And look at that. Tent not so stable. Direction A, 40 miles per hour and up.
On to direction B, which is directly into the corner of the tent with the wishbone hub. Looks like we got a little hole in the upper part of the tent there from where you braking it 51 miles per hour in the last direction. You can see this direction is not quite as stable as the last one. And I think you'll agree that it's definitely not rock solid past 35 miles per hour. Here's what the Beaufort scale has to say about winds in the 31 to 38 mile per hour range, which is a Beaufort number of 7. High wind, moderate gale, whole trees in motion, effort needed to walk against the wind. And there you go, it looks like significant instability in this direction at about 39 miles per hour. This is direction C, which is straight into the broadside flat wall on the sides of the tent. You can see it's actually very solid. We haven't been using any guy lines in these tests, but you can see on this particular one you want to use that one lower pull out. Here you can also see the kind of scooping of the rain fly as the wind pushes it in. That's very typical. On to direction D, which is the other diagonal direction of the tent. If this test was done at 10,000 feet, all the numbers we're looking at could be 60% higher, which means that the range that we're claiming of 30 to 35 miles per hour at sea level would actually shift to 35 to 40 miles per hour for a stable tent at 10,000 feet. Makes a pretty big difference. The tent's doing a pretty credible job of staying up. Fairly solid here, but watch just a little more. And definitely not solid. Right there. And finally direction E, which is into the 2 2-point vestibule. That's the big storage vestibule. This is a good place to mention one of the finer points of tent design. You can see that the vestibule is getting a scooped shape from the wind pushing on it, and this is why we don't like to see stretchy guy lines or stretchy fabrics, is that the scoop is obviously increasing the drag of the tent and therefore the load on the poles. So when you have any kind of stretch, it causes the scoop to get more pronounced, which causes greater load on the tent. This direction's pretty strong. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think. Email me directly, mike@thetentlab.com.